the composer. Put on the record. Watch it turn, slowly, chocolate, wet, shiny. Now, this stream. As a child, time was always okay. I once took a train to the Arctic North. In the dining car, I saw his beard of demons. He sat alone, bald eyes shifting around the room, and then out the window to the night ice. His knuckle-haired paws held his mug of coffee like it was his heart. I remember him looking at me, and I inhaled the rich coffee's dark incense. We watched the cream swim branches like bleeding ivory veins. Is it not beautiful, he said. You take what there is, and you make it beautiful, he said. Then my sister found me, pulled me away. He looked out the window at the night ice. The world is magic. Heal the world. Brown Recluses. When I was 23, we lived in the country. Little Barry and I rented a house with a lost, unrenovated barn. 2 pecan trees waved their shadows in the grasses. 1 apple tree watched over the dirt drive. Its apples astringent and pale, multicolored. I loved it there. We did laundry at the back door with the AC window unit on or off. The dusty day rectangles windowed gold onto wild mint and the deer cleaning sink out back. Beyond that, the pecan trees and barn in shadows and wind. One day I saw a warlike spider staring at me from the faucet in our shower that had green slime at its drain. LB was in the office half of our front room, whittling. In my towel, I told him we might have a brown recluse. He went passionately in his glasses, beard, and long hair to see. It was nasty looking. It must have been that scourge of Virginia. We trapped it in a jar and threw it away in the wild, clean air and sun. It was a story. Recently, I happened to read about brown recluses, about how their venom rots your flesh like leprosy. I saw pictures. I realized that spider we'd tossed had been a harmless house spider, probably very afraid. The brown recluses, the real ones, I noticed, didn't look scary at all. Everglades. Right now, at dawn, one bird call reminds me. Down there, the fountain of youth was in our chests. In fields where we camped, in the marsh overlooking the bay that spread out like the horizon of sky blue. The warm winds rattled our tents at night. Reach your destination. Step off the plain into a day swamp. You'll see the beginning in the birds that lift out of the house-high grass. That is the leather rock of an alligator. People live here with beards and instruments, singing. Pieces of our souls catch in the wind, stay behind, traveling in the vision of tall grass, sunfire in the water, the gauntlet of things born. The squirrel in the road. I saw it, paralyzed in the road, still breathing. Ashamedly, my first impulse was to leave it. I just couldn't. He was just lying there. I was selfishly fearing for my nerves, but something conquered that. I used sticks to stretcher his body to a bed of leaves beneath a young pine tree. I covered him up with a leaf blanket, spoke to him gently, made friends with him, told him it would be okay if he died. He listened, huffing his short breaths, his mouth ruby with squirrel blood. I did my best to comfort him while he died. Pumpkins of fall. Pumpkins the color of exploded paint come out in autumn. They're glow-browned. They decorate the porches with their sinister scalp hair. Soon we'll carve their faces on. We'll scoop their innards out, genitals and guts. We breathe spirit into them with the gift of fire and dark. This fall stays behind as we move past it. Throw the pumpkins out before their faces sag and rot, before bugs crawl on their flesh and eat it, before the cold. Ghosts of Nashville. Nashville. Night driving over the bridge, into lit up blue towering over the city web. In the corners they wore checkered shirts, buttoned with snaps, and big aviators at 22. Their cigarettes to give prayers to the hours. They all worked jobs, everybody worked, keeping things sunny with plasticized country music. They were bare damaged like the raped billboard signs on Highway 40. The sun hid its face in the rim of western blood. Night, like beer cans, and the cigarettes rob your breath. And the sweating under the lights, and ego explosives, and glowing on a stage, supplementing others' visions of their lives. We had fun. Blackouts in bathrooms, 60-ounce margaritas of La Hacienda, backstage dressing room talks with the host of the music hour, silver-peppered ponytail with easy as a politician anecdotes of the old times. We dreamed on summer porches. We painted canvases and hung them. Nashville with your shirt-sleeved Western promise, your hair on forearms and chest, your greasy hair, your bitter whiskey shots at the bar, your business sense. You'd make a great executive among cities. Looking down on the Cumberland dirtied with time and its industrial bridge, you know what works. We are apparitions now, still alive in some dimension of unknowable place and time, still living out our then dream with hope eyes, gut fire, need to be somebody. The street girl. Then Frederick looked up. The clouds were mobilized and searching like smoke. Cold iron nails of raindrops hit him. A cardinal bled through damp, freezing branches. He went inside the parish hall and into the chapel. In the stained glass light, when he could no longer be strong, she touched his hair and touched his face with filthy fingers and moved her lips to his, mouth to mouth, them breathing in and out one warm soul. His eyes water, and she tucks his head down against her chest. Even though we left her, we are not alone. Love. Is it this? Is it true? Is it right? Is it real? Crows in the trees. Eternal girlfriend. Clean-shaven legs. The slippery legs. Insides of thighs. Inside dresses. Neck flowers. Nature-spilled hair. And to discover, to experience together. Steps on the staircase that will not lead up or down. Portrait of Rachel as a teenager. Rachel on her bed after school in the basement. Blue jean legs, one over the other, ending in sneakers. Playing her guitar, singing, writing songs. Her black, shoulder-length, wavy hair grazes bare arms with no shirt sleeves. Her untouched neck, where a homemade braided necklace is stretched. Her heart is moving through her face with pain, then anger, sadness. Then her eyes open, saying goodbye. She rides the bus, knees up, stuffed in a seat, skin lips the color of pink lip gloss flesh. Sing the lyrics of the headphones silently as she looks out the window, hair perfect as a high school hall and unkempt. Suddenly she gets up at her stop, and in the aisle gives us a slice of flat tummy skin, nature proving beauty exists. At the party, weaving through the people, black sweatshirt unzipped, matching her midnight hair. She stands in front of you, midnight strand clutching at her face, looking up at you through her eyes, green stare, uncertain of everything. There she is, a little bit afraid and strong. Portrait of Rachel in her 20s. One day, in a loft, in a city, she stands in the glassy sun, black t-shirt and jeans snug over skin humps, bike back behind her against the wall in the room. She walks around playing her guitar, singing about you, pumping up and down on the bare balls of her feet with hair-shaking smile, her eyes closed sadness. At night, in the middle of the night, sitting at her desk, typing emails or handwriting letters to friends. Light is caught and falls like waterfall down straightened hair, is caught and falls down arms. Photographs of people and places scattered, freewheeling across the wall. Oh, the way earrings dangle at parties against her neck, inside the clean shower of straightened hair. I'm telling you, the arid, bare desert of her smooth, bare skin. But back in her nest after the parties, and on mornings and days of her young life, with sweatpants and cereal, she is the same little girl after all. Her dark eyes probe through moonless glass to find what she somehow must find in this not comprehensible existing. That she, like we, awoke inside one day, innocent as dawn. Portrait of Rachel in her 30s. I saw her the other day. Arms curved, stony muscle. Same height, but older. Slightly different looking. I met the older man she married, to whom she has chosen to give her life, with whom she has chosen to start a family. Personally, I can't see why, but she is happy. He was very nice to me. She played me some old songs, sitting on her couch, laughing about how long it had been since she touched her guitar. Her kids keep her busy. Her kids make her happier than anything. She smiles at them as she sings. Hair a straight fall from tight-laced, thin-braided headband. She's still beautiful. She laughs, putting the guitar away. Chooses this, and lets go of that. The radio sun. Sun touching leaves. The magnolia limbs sleeping, breathing around Haley. We saw her up there in the tree from where we were standing on the hill. She saw us. New nerves crawl in her stomach. She jumped out, landing feet on acorns, threshing hair the colors of dark straw. Shadows of sensitivities in her eyes. She disappeared in the fields, and the branches stirred slightly in the wind and grazed each other. Just before dinner, air got cold. Auburn evening honey over grass fields cold. fields boxing away in every direction, with wild hair away from the black vein of road. There is the inn among its fields in feudal night. Who are they, Papa? Haley's hair lit with shadows of the fireplace, but her father is snoring in the window's glare. She covers him in their wool blanket and goes and sits at the window. Have you ever heard wind moaning like animals out there? Autumn passed like it will. Time turning into images. Time is moving right now. The mystery outside of time moves us to move. Where is the mother of all this mystery? The autumn passed just like that. These contour images run deeper than one can travel. They did not know each other then, but they knew of each other. Haley, Frederick is the fire maker. All day he is in the forest with an axe. His brother, Thomas, gathers wood. Out the window in Haley and her innkeeper father's apartment, the trees are standing straight up along down the ravine. The leaves blow there like colorful snow. At night she feels him in the halls. She lies awake in bed. She sees lands with horses where she is grown up and beautiful. They steal her breath away. She thinks she will never sleep, but she does. Wind breath off the fields, creaks in the joints around the barn's stomach. Her likeness flashes in plants, in the dried stone fountain. Is a dream something more than real? Frederick continues to compost into the night. Two brothers wading through cream reach the sandbar. There they watch a man on shore cast his line, bless the twilight with his pipe, and talk to his son about worlds. Though the sunlight has fled from the lagoon, no longer tasting the skin of the natural water, Frederick cannot stop watching years. It's you, Thomas, who finally says, we should head back. You, happy Thomas. And her father's snoring filled the room. There at the window, looking at the sea of sky, Haley turned on the radio. When you get sad, or scared, or lonely, find the sun. She turned the dial until tiny waves of static pulsed lowly. Those are sunspots, she whispered. That's the sun, Thomas said. He moved his ear to the speaker. He's always there, Haley said. He'll always be here in the morning. They watched and listened. Who knows how things work? Buttery sun. The whitecaps scrambled fur over circuitous breathing of the behemoth shore. The dragonfly led her down the slope to Frederick. They watch each other in the wind. Along the beach they step on grass and shells. The world is new. Life retreats from understanding when you stare at it. Perhaps perhaps it's meant to be seen from the corner of your eye, a blurred landscape. There you feel its truth. There, riding feelings, it made sense to them, too. The Book of Beasts. These two beasts are facing each other, weaving in circles of light and dark, of travel and return. And all gives birth to itself, right now, a breath.